Are you struggling, or are you letting social media dictate how you feel about your life? Hi! Welcome to the It's Obvious But podcast. I am your host, Aurora, but you can call me Amor or Roar. I know it's obvious, but social media is toxic, and comparison is a thief of joy. For years I've been on social media, and I never realized that it had an effect on me. I thought I was one of the few people that it did not have an effect on, and I was wrong. This whole time I had money goals that I wanted to reach, but I had not reached yet, and I thought because of that I was broke. That, on top of seeing people on social media in their penthouses and with their Lamborghinis, Mercedes, and all these luxury items, and going to all these different countries and traveling all the time, and going to the nail salon, getting pampered at the spa, I really thought that I was struggling and that I just didn't have any money. And it's so crazy because when I started watching finance and budgeting videos recently, I realized I'm not struggling. It was a huge surprise for me to sit down and look at my income versus my expenses and see, wait, I make way more than I spend. I always knew that I was a saver and a frugal person, but I never really wrote it down on paper and compared. I wrote down every single bill I have versus all my income, and I was shocked. It really warped my brain because this whole time I had been working up to 72 hours a week to make money. I thought I was living paycheck to paycheck. I would go weeks without having a day off at all, barely getting sleep, just grinding until I was exhausted, losing weight, dehydrated. I just looked sickly at one point, and I was super depressed. So it was a big surprise when I finally sat down and looked at this. I had money left over, and I didn't even know. I did not know how much, and I don't know how I didn't see it. You know, anytime I made money, I paid my bills and set aside money for my rent. I didn't look at it any further. And so I kept thinking that I was working paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, but that wasn't the case. Creating this budget also made me realize what situation I'm in. It's crazy to think that I'm struggling, but I own my car. There's always gas in my car. I have my own place that I pay for by myself, no roommate. What? Just that alone is crazy in this economy. My rent's always paid, and I still get to set aside money for rent every month. My bills are paid, saving up on all my bills. I always have food in my fridge. I have no debt. How did I ever think I was struggling? I may not be where I want to be financially with having all this excess income, right? Or disposable income, but I'm doing really good. I'm in such a great position that a lot of people are just not in at this point in their lives. And it just really opened my eyes to how blinded we can get in that rat race of every day. Like, even if I ended up making $1 million somehow, I would never even think about stopping because I'm just so used to being in that race. So this was very shocking to me. I really had a mind-blowing realization. Just because I'm not where I want to be financially does not mean that I'm broke or struggling. I wake up every day blessed, having all the things that I have, and I'm just so thankful that I found those videos to really wake me up. It's very easy to get lost in the sauce. I said that with a straight face, oh my god. It's really easy to get lost. It's really easy to get lost in the day-to-day when you're just so focused on one thing and you're so used to doing one thing. So I want you to take a moment today and look through your expenses versus your income and see if you have any money left over. If not, take a deeper dive. Look at the things that are requirements for you to pay, like your bills, car notes, rent, mortgage, and then look at the things that you spend frivolously on, like the things that you don't need to buy but you buy, or even subscriptions that you have that you don't really use, and see what you can take out, what you don't use, that's just kind of recurring and just taking out of your check. And there are a lot of services that can unsubscribe you from those subscription services. Look into that and take those things out. If they're not something that you really want, don't do it just because you can. Don't just throw a few bucks because you got a few bucks to spend on it, you know? Save it up for the things that you actually want. I know there's a lot of discourse about the Starbucks drink every day, and the general consensus now is that whether or not you buy that $5 Starbucks every day for the rest of the year, that's not going to make or break whether you become rich or not. But if you want to save that extra money, you can do that, but you don't have to take away the things that you enjoy out of life, because it's a slippery slope and it's not going to be beneficial for you to take out the things you enjoy just to save a couple dollars. So instead, make sure that you're spending on things that you actually like. So for me, just because I can buy clothes online like Shein and Fashion Nova because they're cheap doesn't mean I should do that, because I'm not into clothes. The same thing for like shoes and bags. Just because I can afford something doesn't mean I need to buy it. Instead, I enjoy concerts. So when I'm planning to go to a concert, I save up just for that. I ball out. I need to be in the stadium parking closest to the entrance, want to be on either the floor or in section 100. I sometimes like to eat or get a drink. Like, no expenses are spared when I go to concerts. but I prep for that. So personally, me going to Starbucks, that's not something I enjoy. I wouldn't do that anyway. I would just save up for a concert. So I have some questions for you. Do you make more money than you spend? Are you willing to make a budget to see where your money is going and how you can spend less on things that you don't need to and more on the things you want to? I know a budget is not going to make you rich, but it will wake you up to where your money is going and where you can better allocate it. If you want to make more money, look into side hustles. Or if you're simply just interested in saving but you want to get some more interest on top, look into high yield savings accounts. Or another thing that's really popular is investing. Do your research and find people that you like and can trust. I'm so proud of you. Please answer those questions and do the work for yourself to put yourself in a better financial situation. Take care.